For me, it's about the law and people. I just need facts, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Just facts. And how people can resolve their problems and just be better for it.
Justice with passion.
I always knew I was going to go into law because I tried to see everybody's point of view in an argument. And I encouraged people to talk to each other to try to resolve their problems.
Justice with truth.
Do not waste your time and do not waste mine.
This is Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Stephen Hershey is suing Zach Anderson in the amount of $749. Mr. Hershey claims he took a comedy class that came with a guarantee that he'd book an acting job and says he's been rejected at every audition since.
Mr. Hershey, I understand you are suing the defendant, Mr. Anderson, for $749 because you were not satisfied with his comedy training class that you took.
I would say I definitely was not satisfied. I feel that it was false advertising because he promised in his flyer that I saw on all of his social media, on his websites, that you would book your next job with this comedy class. It was a 4-hour thing.
Well, I mean, you know, nothing in life is a guarantee, and sometimes marketing employees are marketing employees. So tell me, why did you choose this class?
I chose it because it came highly recommended to me. A friend sent me over his information. I've been an actor for 6 months now, trying to get a job, auditioning. I moved here from Alabama, and I was trying to get my foot in the door, and he promised that he would help with that. And I feel since the course, I have actually made no progress. I've done worse than I did before I took it. So, yeah, I was
So tell me about the course that you took.
It was a lot of basically an improv course. I would say it was a comedy boot camp. We did lots of games and things like that. We did some scenes where he would give us basically a word or something to that effect, and we'd have to create a scene in our groups. Things like that. And he also taught us about what to do in the room when you're auditioning, ways you can bring your own things into it. And most importantly, he taught us about vocal exercises, lip trills, like things like that.
Okay. And what's the purpose of that, Mr. Anderson?
And the purpose of that is to loosen up the body. As actors, this is our instrument, and you really can't do very good work if you're uptight and nervous, and so we did a lot of relaxation techniques, a lot of voice work, and he just demonstrated. And
all right, so then what happened? Why are you suing him for the $749?
Well, ever since the boot camp, I've been going on auditions, I've gotten some callbacks, things like that, and I've used all the techniques that he's taught me in these classes, and I feel like I've got nothing out of it. No callbacks, nothing, and I feel almost like the things he taught me are hindering instead of helping my career.
Like what?
Well, he told us to, again, do our vocal exercises and things like that in the audition room when you're waiting around, waiting to go on, and I did that. You told
him to do those noises in the audition room?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you can't be disruptive.
In the waiting room.
In the waiting room?
Not the actual audition room. In the waiting room beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't you can't do those noises to disrupt other actors. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Okay, so then you just didn't get any gigs?
No.
Okay.
I got a few callbacks, but
so
no,
then
nothing.
Why did you think it was a guarantee to take a class? I mean, I went to law school. It wasn't a guarantee I was going to pass the bar the first time. I passed the bar the first time, and it wasn't a guarantee I was going to get a job.
Exactly.
So how are you so sure that this class was a guarantee?
Because that's what he said. Literally in this advertisement, it says right here.
That's advertisement. But that's advertisement. You can't actually believe that he will guarantee you a job.
Book your next gig with this boot camp.
Book your next gig. Yes. Come find me. Get my lessons. What I've learned.
I guess I took that.
You're not gullible to really believe that booking means you will first. Like, he is not. Does not have influence in all movies or theaters or television productions where he can actually get you a job. I mean, do you really think that's what was going to happen?
I felt like he gave me a lot of confidence. He said I had a lot of talent, a lot of ability.
Confidence is different than a guarantee. I mean, any Hollywood actor is going to tell you sometimes it's just the right time for you, or just it happens by chance. But there's no guarantee. I mean, honestly. So then why do you think you can sue him for $749 back for a class you took?
Because I took all of his advice, I went through everything, and he told us in the classes even, he said, you know, if you do the work, I know I worked very hard in this class, and if you take the advice that you've given me, he sent me auditions. I went on every single audition that he sent to me. He talked to the casting directors for me, and
well, that was very nice of him, yeah.
But they came back saying that they didn't cast me because they didn't like the things that he had taught me.
That's not true.
Interesting.
It's not
Maybe
true.
you're just not that funny.
Well,
I'm not saying that in a negative way, but I'm just being blunt. Maybe you're not that funny.
Coming up on Justice for All.
My assistant came in to tell me that there was an issue in the waiting room.
What was the issue?
There was an actor making very loud, disturbing warm-up noises.
And later.
What he's not telling you is earlier that morning, I usually go outside in the morning to garden and what have you. I saw him outside smoking marijuana.
Closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Stephen Hershey, who is suing Zach Anderson for breach of contract.
He told me that I had talent and that I had a funny look about me.
I told you you had potential. That it's different than talent.
That I could be like a Jesse Eisenberg type, or.
I said you had potential, Stephen.
So why should I not be booking?
Because.
You tell me.
Mr. Hershey, I mean,
I wasn't in the room.
How can you expect? I mean, you know what Hollywood's like, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm from Alabama. I moved to Atlanta, so I've never. But the industry, yes, it's very difficult.
Do you understand what the industry's like?
Yes.
No guarantees. Very subjective. So you cannot rely on a class to get you a job. It's ridiculous. It's gullible. It's just not right. So it's not. So, Mr. Anderson, you brought a witness here before I make a decision. What is your witness?
I did, Your Honor. Thank you. This is Casey Johnson.
Okay, Ms. Johnson, you can stand.
Come on up here. Don't be shy.
Why are you here today?
Well, I am here as a witness to the fiasco that the plaintiff, Stephen, demonstrated when he came into audition for a commercial.
Okay, so tell me.
Well, okay, so I have been a casting director for 15 years, and I even acted for 10 years before that. That's where I met Zach. And so in the past 10 years, though, Zach has been sending me various promising actors. We've booked some. It's been great. And so I agreed to let Zach send out an email blast, and that's where Stephen found out about the audition, and he came in to audition for us.
And how was the audition?
Well, it
Nightmare.
Yes, it was an absolute nightmare. I mean, so at the very beginning, my assistant came in to tell me that there was an issue in the waiting room.
What was the issue?
Well, the issue was there was an actor in the waiting room making very loud, disturbing warm-up noises. I believe the warm-up noises were something to the effect of
lip trills, you know,
the lip
rolled
trills.
R's.
But not in front of all the other actors, Stephen. I mean, you know better than that.
Okay, and that was very distracting, Ms. Johnson?
Yes, it was. It was very distracting.
Did he actually audition for you?
He did.
Okay,
so
tell
when
me
it was
about the audition.
okay, so when it was his turn, he came in, and he was being extremely dramatic with the equipment.
Okay.
That
What do you
he was
mean
using.
dramatic with the equipment?
Well, we had these, the commercial was for these adjustable barbells. And so he was doing these wild stretches, and he was doing these wild moves and being
Was
dramatic.
it supposed to be a funny commercial?
No, no, it was not.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just,
So it was just not a good audition?
it was not a good audition.
All right.
No.
Okay.
Well, also you said that there was to be no dialogue, and he kept talking in the commercial. He kept insisting that he talk in the commercial because he felt that that's what the commercial needed. You never do that, ever.
Well, but
you
put
never
my
do
own
that.
put my own essence
She told
into
you 3
it.
or 4 times.
That's
no
what I was
talking.
told. to put my own thing into to make the casting directors remember you.
But she said no talking, Stephen.
Well, right, no
She didn't
talking.
say that until after.
No, I said that during. So he was continuing to talk, and then I told him that I wanted him to have fun demonstrating the equipment, like maybe just a little curl or a little.
Okay, got it.
And so he.
So you did not cast him because he did not have a good audition. He did not follow through on instructions. He was not intuitive to what the role was supposed to be.
Right,
He just was not a good actor.
And he was talking back.
Okay, all right.
And Your Honor,
So
she called me.
that has nothing to do with a class that you took, Mr. Hershey. So it's pretty straightforward. You took a class. Nobody forced you to take a class. You paid for the class. Mr. Anderson delivered the session. And that's it. That was your contract. There was no guarantee to get you a job. That's when you're on your own. You can call in and ask him for favors or advice, but getting a job or booking something was going to be your responsibility. It was not a guarantee, because I really don't think you think that was a guarantee. So,
Your Honor,
like
also
I
have
said,
it in writing.
it's okay. I don't
Okay.
need to see it. I have copies of it.
Great.
So, based on the evidence, Mr. Hershey, like I told you, going to law school does not guarantee I'm going to pass the bar. Passing the bar didn't guarantee I was going to have a job. No guarantees. I had to go out and look for it. It didn't matter. Just like you. Even though my bar class says we guarantee results, we guarantee you'll have a high passage rate. I'm not gullible. I knew that the only way I was going to pass the bar was if I studied my you-know-what off and really worked at my craft. Just like what you need to do, okay? Nothing's handed to you. So, based on the evidence, I will deny the plaintiff's claim for $749. And good luck to you, Mr. Hershey, okay? Maybe you should just go practice your craft and think about what it is that you want to do, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I think the decision was fair and the right one.
Well, you should change your advertising. But, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up on Justice for All.
Is it true that what she said, that you were smoking marijuana?
It might be true that I was on a legal record.
I understand. Hey, it's legal. Whatever. For whatever reasons, you were doing it. So, were you high? Yeah, a little bit.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Chris Rossi is suing Janice Charles in the amount of $2,500. Mr. Rossi claims his daily jog was going great until Ms. Charles distracted him and says he fell and broke his tooth because of her.
Mr. Rossi, you are suing the defendant, Ms. Charles, for $2,500 based on some injury that you suffered on her property.
That's right, Ma'am.
Okay, explain what happened.
I busted my lip on Miss Charles's property while going on my normal daily run.
Okay.
I took an alternate route for the fact that the road was closed on my normal one.
It wasn't an alternate route, Your Honor.
Okay, let's just let him finish. He was running on your street.
No, just like that. Miss Charles interrupted me.
Okay, just go ahead. So
She waved her hand, and as I was looking off to see who was saying hi to me, I tripped on her property and broke my tooth on the pavement.
Okay, all right, so that's it.
Now I've had to pay $2,500 in medical and expenses.
Okay.
I went to the doctor and got I'm
veneer.
ashamed to say it, a veneer.
Okay, all right, so why don't you tell me what happened, your version of it?
What he's not telling you is earlier that morning, I usually go outside in the morning to garden and what have you. I saw him outside smoking marijuana. And while he was running, maybe 30 or 45 minutes later.
How do you know he was smoking marijuana?
I could smell it.
Okay, so I know it's not illegal to smoke marijuana in your state.
It's not.
Okay, so why are we bringing that in right now?
Because to be honest, he's making it seem as though I distracted him by saying good morning. I'm a new homeowner. I have a 12-year-old son. I saw that the pavement was like that. I was aware that the sidewalk was like that. I discussed it with my realtor. We went through things that can be done to get it fixed.
Coming up.
I did actually plan on getting it fixed, but me saying good morning was not the distraction.
Janice,
him smoking weed
been
probably was the distraction, and as well, he was on his phone.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Chris Rossi, who is suing Janice Charles for medical expenses.
I'm very new to the area, and I did actually plan on getting it fixed. But me saying good morning was not the distraction.
Janice,
him smoking weed probably was the distraction. And as well, he was on his phone.
So, Mr. Rossi, why were you so distracted?
Your Honor, I was doing my usual jog. It's nothing out of the ordinary. But
Ms. Charles says you were on the phone.
Yes.
Were you looking down? Were you looking? You said you've seen the sidewalk. You always run on the other side or walk on the other side. You know her sidewalk is not. There's a problem with it. Were you not being careful?
I was just doing something out of the ordinary.
Were you high? Was it true that what she said, that you were smoking marijuana?
It might be true that I was on a legal.
I understand. Hey, it's legal. Whatever. For whatever reasons, you were doing it. So, were you high? Yeah, a little bit?
Yes,
okay,
I was.
All right.
But that's neither here nor there.
Do we have pictures of the sidewalk? You said you were going to bring that to me. Somebody has pictures of the sidewalk?
I didn't take pictures of the sidewalk.
Okay.
I've taken videos, and I can present them to you in video
I think you have the video here, so can we see the videos of the sidewalk?
As you can see, there's a clear obstruction of pathway.
So that's in front of your house, right?
That is right where I fell, yes.
That's in front of your house, right?
It is.
You understand that in your city, Sacramento, usually, generally, a sidewalk is the property of the city, the state, right?
Sure.
California is very unique, and they will allow in certain areas, certain cities to be responsible. They decide who's responsible for the sidewalk, right? In your city, Sacramento specifically, Sacramento City Code says the person responsible for the upkeep, and I'm sure your realtor told you this, for the upkeep of the sidewalk is the property owner, right?
Well, I'm not disputing that, Your Honor, but what I am saying is that he was negligent.
I understand, but let me finish. So any injury that comes to somebody from walking on that property, on that sidewalk, is technically your responsibility, right? The homeowner's responsibility.
Judge Perez's verdict when Justice for All returns. Promotional consideration provided by
Mr. Rossi, obviously you have the duty of care to be careful. I think you were a little distracted, and you said you've been there before, you've seen it, and you just need to really be careful next time if you have seen it, right? And I'm trying to figure out, and the only reason why I ask is whether or not you were smoking or not. Did it impair your ability to walk and talk and use the phone and things like that? I don't have enough evidence to see that it impaired him, that he wasn't walking properly, that he wasn't talking properly. So I can't say this is a case of contributory negligence, okay? So what I do have is a fact of the sidewalk where it is really your responsibility as an owner to fix it. So based on that, I'm going to rule in favor of the plaintiff.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you both.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $2,500.
This is what I used to make all my living, and it's her responsibility.
Clearly, it was his own negligence. I can do my part as a homeowner, but I honestly don't agree with what the verdict was.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.